Hi, I'm Rich Frawley, Director of Training for ADF Solutions. Today we are going to organize our view of the Records panel, giving you the important information for quick viewing. When conducting an analysis of a scan, we want to be able to tailor the view to our needs, making the view comfortable for us. Just like getting in the driver's seat, you want to know where everything is and you want to be comfortable. So let's take a look at a view for results of a hash set that was run. The top panel, or the records panel, is the panel we will be focusing on to obtain the optimal view for your preference. The bottom panel, or the details panel, gives you your properties details, which will always show every property, whether hidden or not. Across the top of the records panel, we have our columns. And starting at the left, it's the selection box, tagged, comments, excerpts, preview, and so on. We can shift the columns with the left-click hold and drag. And we can resize also by left-click hold and drag when you're in between the two columns. And you can see the columns extend out of view and are not necessarily in the order you would like them to be or show exactly what you are interested in. To clean up the records panel, let's move to the function toolbar and open columns. Here is where you have control over the columns. You can also move the columns here by hovering over the column and selecting the move button. And again, that's a left click, hold, and drag. You can see each column has a selection box, allowing you to choose what is seen in the records panel. It is only for this records panel. And remember, if you elect not to see the column in this view, you will also not see it in any created report. You can also see that every column is not by default in view. So if it is of interest to you, you will need to select it. So let's clean up a view, starting from the top, which would be all the way over to the left. You can see I have my tags. I want that in my report. I want my comments. I want that in my view. I have the excerpts. So the excerpts would be the keyword searches. I would be able to see that below. So I'm going to take that out of my view, and you can see that column disappears. I want my preview now. I want my preview here now, but if I don't want this in the report, you can uncheck this and the preview will not be in the report, and we have a whole nother video on that. File name I want. File type, I'm going to turn that off. I can see that below in my details pane. Type group, picture. I don't need that up on top. I just want to see what's relevant to me. This wasn't a comprehensive scan. We're not going to have if it's a mismatch or not, so I'm going to turn off mismatch. Not relevant to me at this time. File system type was off. I can turn it on and you can see it's either allocated, deleted. I don't want that in there right now. Origin, you can see allocated, embedded. I'm going to leave that on. Size of the file, I'm going to leave that on. Last written date, I'm going to leave that on. You can see file created, last accessed are off by default. We have our path. File extension, I'm going to turn that on, and I'm going to move that over next to the file name. So you can see I'm starting to organize for what I want here. Whether it was protected, picture width, picture height, all not relevant to me. Linked artifacts, I'm going to want that in there. What artifacts are they linked to? Did it come in a message, a download? Is it in browser cache? So on and so forth. And you can see these are hashes, and I ran my MD5. I can see it here. If I want that in my report, I can turn it on when I'm going ready to report, or I can leave it off. Again, it is in my lower details pane. There is the matching MD5 hash value. Visual class. This is something that you typically don't want in your upper view. You have it in lower, and you typically don't want that in your reporting. Entities, I'm not going to have that in there. So you can see my views getting nice and clean. Whether it was automatically tagged or not, I'm going to turn that off. And then what capture it was that these pictures were collected with. So I've cleaned up my view. I'm going to come back to my records panel, and you can see the columns that I have in view now. And again, I can resize, I can move them, I could put the path back over here next to extension. I could put size and then origin, and I have organized my view. So there you have it, organizing the records panel. Thanks for taking the time to view our help videos. You may consider taking the ADF certification classes and getting the most out of your tool. Anywhere from 8 to 16 hours to be fully certified. As always, thank you for your time.